So I've said it before and I'll say it again, one of the worst things that a fan caster can do is cast purely based off of look. And for a character like Green Arrow who has that very specific facial hair, it becomes very easy for fans to see an actor with that same facial hair and say that they should play the next Oliver Queen. So today, I wanted to take a look at 5 of the most popular Green Arrow fan casts and rank them based on how well they would actually fit the Green Arrow character according to James Gunn's criteria and not just based on their appearance.
Try again.
And when I say James Gunn's criteria, I mean what he's looking for in an actor in terms of age, height, physique, acting ability, and Green Arrow aura. Now, because we don't have a lot of direct or indirect statements from James Gunn about Green Arrow like we did in the Batman video, we're gonna have to base a lot of these stats off of what we already know about the current lineup of the DCU. So why don't we start with physique? In 2022, James Gunn confirmed that he would be taking inspiration from Justice League Unlimited. And of the Justice League Unlimited members that have already been cast in the DCU, we have Superman, Supergirl, Jon Stewart, Hal Jordan, Mr. Terrific, and Hawkgirl. Don't say it. But anyway, while we can learn a lot about Green Arrow from this group of actors, I'd first like to point out the fact that these actors are all fit.
I'm about to bust.
You're gonna subscribe. Or this goes live tomorrow. You understand? So what this tells me is that when it comes to casting Justice League members, James Gunn is looking for an actor who can get into good shape. And I'm not saying as big as Batman or Superman.
Okay.
But they gotta have at least an athletic build. Holy shit. And before you go typing in the comments about Kyle Chandler, you gotta remember that this is a very specific iteration of Hal Jordan. And also, this man is almost 60. So we've established that James Gunn is looking for an actor with an athletic physique, but what about age? What's the age range that he's looking at? Well, in 2022, James Gunn confirmed that Green Arrow is still one of his favorite superheroes. And so what this tells me is that he'll probably want to keep Green Arrow around for a good while, which means he probably won't get the Hal Jordan treatment, and he'll probably be around the same age as some of the other Justice League members. And seeing how Aaron Pierre and David Cornsweet are 30 and 31 respectively, I have to imagine that the new Green Arrow actor is going to be around the age of 30 to 35. And with that being said, we now have the physique and age. But what about height? How tall does James Gunn want this new Green Arrow actor to be? Well, according to the DC Wiki, Green Arrow is 5'11", but just like I've seen comic book panels showing Green Arrow being shorter than Batman, I've also seen comic book panels that show Green Arrow being the same height as Batman, and if Batman is 6'2", that would mean Green Arrow at his tallest is 6'2". So, I think that James Gunn is going to look for an actor between the height of 5'11 and 6'2", so no taller than Batman, but no shorter than 5'11". Now, with all of that out the way, we finally established all of the tangible stats for Green Arrow, which means we can finally get to ranking, which brings me to the number 5 spot. So I know this is going to piss a lot of people off, but coming in at number 5 and dead last is Charlie Hunnam. Now, I completely understand why Charlie Hunnam is probably the most popular Green Arrow fan cast, because not only does he have the look, he also has the height and the physique. But there's just one thing that I don't think he's ever had that really holds him back from playing Green Arrow. And that's a voice coach.
That's not fair.
Not fair? You want to know how many women I've slept with over the last 10 years?
Don't do that.
Hundreds. Maybe more, I don't know. I barely see their faces. I married Wendy because I was lonely. Because I got tired of the endless disconnect. It was just a sad time out. Because when I'm inside someone, there's only one face I see.
So just for a little bit of context, this clip was from a show called Sons of Anarchy, where Jax is supposed to be playing a character who's native to California. And interestingly enough, Green Arrow is from a city called Star City, which has been mostly depicted as either being in California or Seattle. Either way, they're both West Coast, and I only brought that up to point out the fact that if we did get Charlie Hunnam as Green Arrow, then this would probably be the accent that he would go with for Green Arrow. And,
I barely see their faces.
Yeah. Wait, Ty, that is not fair and you know that. That show ended in 2014. You know how much an actor can improve in 11 years? Yeah, I thought you might say that. So I decided to check out a movie called Triple Frontier. And in this movie, we see Charlie Hunnam's most recent crack at an American accent. Mind you, this movie was released 5 years after the end of Sons of Anarchy. And holy crap, his accent game did not get any better, and I can guarantee you that if he became the DCEU Green Arrow, we would have 100% got another Kal-El no situation. And I'm not saying he's a bad actor. I actually liked him in a movie called The Gentleman. I'm just saying that his accent game would really hinder his performance for Green Arrow. But going back to the DCEU, he was actually already offered the role of Green Arrow for the Snyderverse, but he turned it down.
It was some people in suits brought the idea to me and thought it would be terribly exciting for me to play Green Arrow, and I did not share their enthusiasm.
Hey, fair enough, man. I think it'd be cool, but that's fair.
I don't know who Green Arrow is, so I don't want to offend anyone.
No, you're good.
I looked at one picture and I was like, I'm not sure green's my color, and I'm pretty sure spandex isn't my material. And beyond that, I was like, one image, thanks, not interested.
Now, before anyone goes into the comments, let me just say this. Not knowing who Green Arrow is fine. Not wanting to be a part of whatever Zack Snyder was doing at the time is completely understandable. But saying, I don't mean to offend anyone, and then immediately being like, oh yeah, I looked at one picture of this shit. Okay, I know he didn't say that, and I know his response wasn't that aggressive, but there was just something about the way that the interviewer was so enthusiastic, only to be met with like a irritated response by Charlie Hunnam that really just rubs me the wrong way. But whether you agree or disagree with my interpretation of this interview doesn't really matter, because this interview was a part of a promotion for Rebel Moon Part 1, which dropped in December of 2023. And that's important because that means that this interview was done a full year after James Gunn was already announced to be the new CEO of DC Studios. And so we can assume that this was Charlie Hunnam saying, no, even though there's new management, I'm not interested in playing Green Arrow for the new DCU. And so finally, we can put this fan cast to rest. Also, like I mentioned before, I think James Gunn wants to keep Green Arrow around for a good while, so I can't really see him hiring an actor like Charlie Hunnam because he's 13 years older than David Cornsweet, our current Superman. So while Charlie Hunnam certainly has the look to play Green Arrow, I don't think he would necessarily do a good job because his accent game isn't that great. He's a little bit too old, and he clearly does not like the character, so that's why I put him so low on this list. Anyway, let's get to number 4. So coming in at number 4, we have Kyle Gallner, and before we get into why he's placed so low, I want to give you a couple of positives because I really wish I could have put this guy higher. So starting off with the obvious, in terms of look, he has Green Arrow essence, but what's cooler than that is that it seems like he actually likes Green Arrow. And that's because we've seen him enthusiastically campaigning for the role, but also apparently, he's been practicing bow and arrow shooting. But it doesn't stop there. He's actually already familiar with the superhero landscape, and more specifically, the DC superhero landscape, because he played Bart Allen, aka Impulse, in Smallville. Now, I'm not gonna lie, I did not watch Smallville because it was a bit before my time, but it's still really cool. It's kind of like the Chris Evans situation where he went from Human Torch to Captain America. Now, with that being said, we can finally get to why Kyle Gallner is not higher on this list, and honestly, it comes down to 3 factors that on their own aren't actually that bad, but when together they compound to bring him a lot lower on this list. So the first thing holding Kyle Gallner back is his age. He is 38 years old, but like I just said, this on its own isn't actually that bad, especially when you consider the fact that most of the fandom sees Green Arrow as a bit older than the rest of the Justice League. The second thing holding Kyle Gallner back is his height. He is 5'8 to 5'9 depending on what source you use, while David Cornsweet is 6'4. And this is the difference between 5'8 and 6'4. Again, on its own, this actually isn't that bad because Green Arrow isn't supposed to be as tall as Superman or Batman. However, the third and final thing that's really holding him back from being higher on my list is that out of everything that I've seen him in, I've really never gotten that Green Arrow vibe from him. And I'm not saying he can't pull off that quippy, charming lover boy. I'm just saying that I personally have not seen him do it yet, but this is the closest thing that I could find.
Look, I should stop into work for a couple hours, but I'll check in on you as soon as I can. Just lay low. And if anything happens, or if you need anything, call me, okay?
So overall, I don't think Kyle Gallner is a bad pick, and I actually wouldn't mind seeing him in the role of Green Arrow for the new DCU. But realistically, I just don't think he's gonna get the role just based on some of the other guys on this list who check off a few more boxes. With that being said, let's talk about number 3. So coming in at number 3, we have Harry Goodwins, and I actually already did an extensive look at this actor because he was heavily rumored to be the new Green Arrow. But obviously we're doing this list today because this rumor was never confirmed. So let's go over some of the pros and cons for Harry Goodwins. Starting off with the obvious, this man looks like he was ripped straight out of the comics. Out of everyone on this list, he probably has the most Green Arrow look. He's also 6'1", so he's in that correct height range, and he has that lean athletic physique necessary for Green Arrow. And if we're to assume that James Gunn is going for longevity with Green Arrow, then Harry Goodwins might be the perfect option because he is 32 years old, according to this Express article that stated he was 31 in March of 2024. I'm currently filming this in March of 2025. So after all that glazing, why did I put him smack dab in the middle and not higher on this list? Well, that's because he hasn't really proven himself as an actor yet. And I'm not just saying that. I watched every single project that I could find him in, and out of all those projects, only one of them featured good acting by Harry Goodwins. But even in that one project with nearly 400 minutes of runtime, Harry Goodwins only got about 5 minutes of screen time. But in those 5 minutes, I'm not gonna lie, I saw the potential. Here, I'll play a clip.
Oh, you're here, lovebirds. Don't mind me. Hello, mate. I'm in the hole. I gotta get this straight. Because Blanket was making no sense. According to him, you had a spin on MasterChef over there and blew up a load of Nazis.
So even though I see the potential of Harry Goodwins and he does check off a lot of boxes, I was still a little bit reluctant to put him higher on this list because we just haven't seen enough from him yet.
Damn it!
But that's actually the exact opposite reason why our number 2 spot isn't at number 1. So coming in at number 2 is Austin Butler. This man is 6 foot tall, 33 years old, he's got the Green Arrow look, and he can get into good shape. So physically, he checks all the boxes just like Harry Goodwins. But the reason I placed him higher than Harry Goodwins is because this man has a proven track record of being a phenomenal actor. He's played everything from Elvis to Fade Routha, and he was actually even on Arrow, I think season 5.
Pretty good gate tonight.
You're never gonna let me forget this, are you?
You have to admit, I did save your ass.
Your modesty is so refreshing.
You know, you're really cute when you're sarcastic.
Half the gate, as agreed.
Now, another reason I realistically see Austin Butler getting cast as Green Arrow is because of the fact that Warner Bros. Owns DC, and Austin Butler has already worked on 2 successful films for Warner Bros. So they might want to keep him around for that box office draw. But at the same time, this might be the exact reason he doesn't get cast as Green Arrow, and what I was alluding to earlier was the fact that he actually might be too big for the role now. And what I mean is that if you look at the DCU Justice League lineup, you'll notice that none of these actors are A-listers. And I'm willing to bet that most of you guys didn't know David Cornsweet, Millie Alcock, Isabella Merced, Aaron Pierre, or Eddie Gathegi before they were cast as their roles for the DCU. And I'm not hating, I am also included in that camp. But my point is that if James Gunn continues with this trend of casting, then Austin Butler will not be our Green Arrow because at this point, he's just too known. But that brings me to my number 1 pick, standing at 6'2", 32 years old, has the physique, definitely has the facial hair, Alexander Ludwig! Now, I'm not gonna lie, when a couple of you guys started to recommend Alexander Ludwig for Green Arrow, I thought, oh my god, are you serious? Kato from Hunger Games?
Oi.
But I decided to give him a chance, so I checked out a show called Vikings, and oh my god, I love God of War 4, and I love God of War Ragnarok, and this show was just giving me those vibes. But other than that, I have to say I still wasn't fully convinced because he was very badass in this show, but Green Arrow is not like that. But alas, I liked him so much in Vikings that I decided to check out more projects that he's featured in, and that's when I came across Bad Boys Ride or Die. And while the movie itself was just okay, his character in that movie, Green Arrow vibes, especially when he was wearing the little hoodie with no sleeves. Check this out.
Open up, muscle milk.
Come on, man. What the fuck is you doing?
Nothing. It's just not a great time for me right now, guys.
It's not a great time for us either.
Okay, let's reconvene in like an hour or so.
We're out of body wash.
Okay, we're aggregating all the data. There's over 100 hours of video, 200 units of audio. We're indexing all audio, video, and geolocated IP network data to create a site picture and develop a target package.
Basically, you sifting through all this shit to find a guilty motherfucker.
Bingo.
Look, I'm not saying that was a one-to-one for Green Arrow, but what I am saying is that that character was light and fun while still having the smarts to get it done. I did not mean for any of that to rhyme. But that's essentially what Green Arrow is in the comics. He almost defeated a parallax version of Hal Jordan by getting him to take his ring off. You know how he almost got him to take his ring off? By calling him a chicken. And that shit worked. And so I really think Alexander Ludwig has what it takes to pull off that version of Green Arrow. But as always, these things are divisive, so let me know what you think in the comments down below. But as always, I really appreciate you guys for stopping by, and I will catch you on the next one. Peace.